everybody. Happy New Year. It's 2020. I can't tell you how much joy it brings me to say that. 2020. Guess we all have great vision now, right? Anyway, I hope everybody's new year has started off very, very well. What is today's date? It's the 10th. Happy Friday. I hope everybody had a fabulous Christmas. I don't think I've been back since Christmas, have I? Oh, yes, I did Zara's box packing, so yes, I have been back. Anyway, it is my first video of the new year, and I have a lot to talk about, so please get cozy, get yourself a cuppa or a snack, and just burrow down to listen. I have a few things. I'll just tell you quickly at the beginning what I'm going to discuss, and then you can join me if you would like. I'm going to do an update. This is in no particular order because I don't know what order I'm going to do everything in, but I'm going to do kind of an update, what's been going on here. I have a new baby to show that I finished. She was born on the 8th, my first baby of the new year. I'm going to do like a little Kymberlee's Cocoon update. I also have a topic I would like to talk about with regards to, I guess, I don't really know what to call it, but because I don't really know if there are industry standards within the reborn world, but there's something I would like to talk about with regards to that. And I also have a kit I'm going to show. And so yeah, so let's go. First, since we're here with these three lovelies, I'm going to show you Yona because she's to the left. Yona's still looking for her mommy. She is so sweet. I have a couple videos up of her. Her photo shoot video is up, as well as a video where I show her like over in the basket a bit better. So I'm thinking maybe sometime next week to do a changing video with her so everybody can see, you know, her moving and all that stuff. But I have had a couple people message me about her, but as of yet she is still waiting for her mommy. So if anybody's interested, please feel free to reach out to me. She was a peaceful baby. She was my last baby of 2019, and actually I created only 8 babies last year. Last year was the first time I set a goal for myself, and my goal was 20 babies in 2019. And if y'all remember, we had that water incidents where we took water down here in the basement, which is my nursery and studio area. And so I lost about 4 months last year, which if you figure up, I did I did a baby a month because I had 8 months to work. So I would only hit 12 anyway, but I might have hit more. It just depends on, you know, timing and, you know, I have reborning rules for myself. Nothing within my world comes before reborning in terms of taking care of my house and family and stuff like that. That will always come first, and so consequently I do not get as many hours of reborning in as I would really like to. But I'm not willing to sacrifice family and my housework and all that stuff. So I get as many babies done as I can, and this year I've not set a goal for myself, because what is that saying? How to make God laugh is make a plan. Anyway, so I'm just going to, again, it was the first year I set a goal. I was always so proud of how many babies I made every year, and then the first year I set a goal, look what happened. So no goal this year, I'm just going to create, but I already have a baby finished. She was born on the 8th, as I said. She has quite the list of potential mommies, and so I am working my way down that list. We're going to come over here and see her in a minute. As you can see, look here, Malachi has a bunkmate right now. Don't they look so sweet? They actually used to be together all the time. This is Abigail and Malachi, and they used to be together back in the day before I got my Juliet, and then Abigail and Juliet became the bestest friends ever. But I have the new baby in with Juliet, and you will see why in a moment. I just kicked my tripod. Oh, that's such a bummer. I had my tripod set up exactly positioned to focus on the kit over there, and didn't I just bump it? Anyway, so here is why I have moved Abigail, because I painted the Adelya kit. My Juliet on the right is an Adelya kit painted by Judy at Bloyer Babies Nursery. Hi, Judy! And then I painted the Adelya kit on the left, and I just think they look so sweet together. Isn't it amazing Oh, I just love how many different versions of every kit one can see. But as I said, Adelya is not a peaceful baby. She has a list of potential mommies, and so I'm actually waiting to hear back from somebody today. And so hopefully she will find her mommy today or soon. And but I just wanted to share her with you. Isn't she so sweet? Oh, look how cute they are together. I already snapped a photo of them together. I still need to do Adelia's photo shoot. I have not done that yet. I did take, as you can see, I took the Santa hats off the babies, and Genevieve and Vigeanier are sporting hair bows in place of their Santa hats. So let me see if I can position my, actually, yeah, I'll do my little update afterwards. I've already talked a little bit about Kymberlee's Cocoon. Look at this beautiful, let me see if I can get y'all on here without too much movement. This beautiful piece of art that Amanda from Little Reborn Princess made for me. Let's move Eeyore there. It says, "Today I choose joy." Isn't that beautiful? It is framed. I'm going to hang it. I just haven't done that yet, but I just thought it was really appropriate to have it over here in the Joy Bubble section, as well as with the Joy Tree and Eeyore. Eeyore brings me joy. I always loved the underdog. Anyway, and thank you to those who sent me Christmas cards. I did not send out Christmas cards this year, and last year I didn't either. Last year I made a lovely Christmas video. I did not do that this year, unfortunately. But because we were out of town for Christmas, and then actually I did not get to the post office till this week, since Christmas, and so I had some Christmas cards, but so I have personally sent thank yous to the people who sent me cards, so thank you everybody who did. That was so very lovely of you. Now we are going to, let's see if I can position this. I want the whole kit in view. There she is. I was going to do a kit review of her when I first got her, which was right before Christmas. Again, I had her on pre-order, and I had paid for her in full, and she got here the day after she shipped. Just like, what was the last kit that I got from McPherson's that did that? Oh, that kit's name is escaping me. It was a boy. Anyway, so quite impressive, actually. Very impressive. And I was going to do a kit review, but I'm going back and forth if I want her to be a peaceful baby or take a list for her. And right now I'm not decided, so right now I'm not taking names for her. I was going to make her for sure a peaceful baby, but I'm not sure at this point. So I do want to discuss her. For a full kit review, please go check out Myra at Myra's Little Bugs. She did a full kit review on her. And I'm going to start with her face. Y'all know that's where I usually start. We all fell in love with this face on Joanna's silicone version of this kit. And there was so much anticipation for myself. I will only speak for myself, but I've also discussed her with other artists, and Myra being one of them. And the anticipation about her was based on the silicone. We fell in love with that silicone kit, or not kit, silicone baby. And from my research, what I understand from the posts on Instagram that Joanna posted is that she cast this head in resin from her silicone. So we have an exact copy of the silicone Lulu's head. And it does not disappoint. This face is so beautiful. I love the lips. I love the little button kind of chubby nose. The ears. They're not quite elf ears, but they've got that little kind of bend. And then this one's a little thinner. And oh, love the ears so very much. Nice round head. You can see a cranial structure. Some nice creases back here. A kind of a little shelf roll there. If you see in profile, you can see just beautiful, absolutely stunning face. Oh, I just love this face so very much. And honestly, I am also I was considering also keeping her, and I'm still not sure. That's part of why I am probably not taking a list. But I do reserve the right, as anybody who works with me knows, I reserve the right to keep any kit I create. So I've told people, it's in my little message I send people who reach out to me about about being on a list. Oh, and by the way, little side note here. I had a lady message me. I will only say her first name. I don't know if she watches me. I do know she watches YouTube because she found me through somebody else's channel. Her name is Linda. She messaged me, last week maybe. I responded that day to your email, Linda. She messaged me via my website, and I got a failure notice back saying that your email address is not correct. So if you can either re-message me with a corrected email or send me a message on my Facebook page, which is Kymberlee's Cocoon, and we can communicate there. As I said, I did completely write you back. She was inquiring about possibly adopting from me in the future. Okay, so now we move back to Lulu. Sorry for the little side note, but that was one thing I wanted to discuss today, and it just popped back in my head. So before the train leaves the station again, so anyway, I love her face. I love her belly plate. Let's move those hands. Her belly plate is actually probably one of the best I've seen in terms of details, because I love the little chubby rolls. I love that you can see this little kind of dip in here, almost like rib cage there. Beautiful belly button. There are some little cosmetic things. It's kind of a bit jagged there, and this I'm going to have to kind of cut this vinyl off, but it is a beautiful, beautiful belly plate. Now, I kind of thought, I'll be honest, I don't understand the process of making a silicone into vinyl. I'm not versed in that at all, but as I said, Joanna said she cast her head in resin, so I guess that would be the same, although I would imagine it would be very difficult to isolate individual body parts like arms and legs, because you're working with a full body unless you did a full body vinyl. So she did in the post on Instagram, excuse me, where she said she had cast the head in resin, she was now going on to sculpt her limbs and belly. So we know these are all sculpted components. They are not part of the original Lulu. The original Lulu actually has two. They're more fisted. I think one is kind of loose though than these hands. Myra pointed out about the thumb that looks like a finger. You know, I think the other one, yeah, if you look at your thumb, and again, you can go watch her review. I don't want to do all the same stuff, but if you look at your thumb and even your fingers, you know, you have these lines where your knuckles are, because there's extra skin there so you can bend, right? And her lines are way down here, like the string was tied, instead of up on her knuckle, and she has lines above it. It's like if those lines would both move, those up and those down, to be on the knuckle, it would visually look more like a thumb instead of like a finger. It is a bit narrower and longer than the other thumb. Not the thumb so much, but the entirety from the tip of the thumb to here is about a 1/4 inch different than the other thumb. And then the disappointing thing for me is the legs, because they are listed as full. She's listed as a full limbed kit, but her legs are not full. They are 3/4 legs. Back before I started understanding a lot of things, where, you know, just like collectors, where you start to realize, oh, I really prefer open-eyed babies, or I prefer sleeping babies, or I prefer big babies, or I prefer preemies. We all, as we are in this, either as an art or a hobby, we learn things about ourselves, you know, make or break things. I've learned I do not love painting babies with 2 fists. Now, in the past, I've done it before I realized I'm not really fond of that. You know, it's all kind of an evolution of being in this industry. And so I steer away. I have passed on many kits since I've made that discovery for that reason. I don't, everything else I could love about the kit, but I'm just not a fan of 2 fists. And I don't know if that's because even my baby pictures at newborn, my hands are very splayed and very open. I was always very expressive with my hands, and so I love expressive hands. I don't know if that's just like in my DNA. I don't know. Anyway, but my Malachi actually has 2 fists, but I've had him now for many years. So Anyway, but my point is, so in the past, before I decided full legs are a must for me, that's the point I'm getting to, I have done 3/4 legs, and if they are positioned as Lulu's are, one way to give the illusion of a full-legged baby is to put the 3/4 legs on a front-loading body, which is what she came with. Beautiful body, but it's front-loading. And so now you see how she has that nice little roundy shoulder? She would need, if you were going to have her the other, like the side loading, she would need that kind of curve and that positioning of the top of the thigh, but she's 3/4. So see where I have her legs? Like if I were to put fabric here, that's how I would set up a full-legged baby. But of course they would be like this, but they're not. So anyway, let's put her body. So if you see, her body actually, her legs are down here. So they're going to be there. So that's what's missing, all that thigh. Now, what I did do is I took out my Gannett kit. She is also 20 inches, but she's full-legged. So I'm going to show you the difference. As you can see, they are very similarly sized. Gannett has a little bit of a bigger foot, but they are both 20-inch babies. Okay, so if we line these two kits up, so their feet and knees are lined, their feet and knees are even, you can see the difference. Like the top of her thigh is missing. Believe me, I know thighs. I am a thick-thighed woman, so I know thighs. So we're missing a good inch, inch and a quarter to finish. And see how you get that roundy? It just stops. And again, if you want to create a 3/4 legged arm, both arms and legs baby, they should be listed that way. That's what my issue is. My issue is I feel she's falsely advertised. And so when I mentioned in the beginning of my video discussing industry standards, one thing that I and several other artists, I'm not the only one, but and there's probably way more than I'm aware of, but maybe not. Maybe it's only the few people I have talked to about this. It is something that the struggle has been real for me, because as I have told all of you in the past, I need to see a blank kit. The prototype photos don't do anything for me. They're nice to look at, but in terms of deciding if I'm going to paint that kit, those don't help me. And I'll explain a little bit why. First of all, everybody's interpretation of a kit is different, but for those of you who don't understand the art, facial expressions and everything everything can be adjusted based on how you weight the baby. Like you can stuff a face to be a different shape. You can alter within reason, certain things about a sculpt. And so I might not be seeing the exact representation of the blank kit by looking at the prototypes. Like for example, for me, her thumb, I painted a kit way early on, my first kit actually after my class, that did not have any lines here. I painted them on. I will visually do my very best to make this look like a thumb. It is solid, because I thought if it were hollow, perhaps I could like really shove some, I don't know how I would with this curvature, but if I could get extra weighting in there to maybe expand it a bit. But I will do my best visually to paint it to look more thumb-like. Let me take you off the tripod and just kind of, show you other things besides Lulu while I chat here. There you go. Oh, what was I saying? Oh, blank kits. So I need to see the blank kit. It's what works best for me. And so I spend time on websites. I also follow a lot of sculptors, because there are quite a few who are so kindly post their works in progress of clay. And I kind of get to see them come to life. I see the changes. I see the final product. I get to see them raw. And that's what works for me in terms of, will I paint that baby? I need a vision of that kit for myself. That's just me. I'm speaking for myself in that regard. But what I wish were an industry standard is that the blank kit be posted before the prototypes. So my understanding of the chain of kits is that a sculptor sends their clay kit components off to their person who creates them into vinyl, their supplier. And then some, I don't know the quantity, 5, 10, I'm assuming it's enough to do the prototypes and possibly a couple more, are sent for approval. Perhaps it's only one. Maybe the company only sends them one for approval and then they move on and do the prototype. I'm not sure. I don't know that, so I don't want to misspeak. But they are sent a kit or kits for approval. Once they're approved, kits are sent to the prototype artists. While the ones are being created for non-prototype artists and the prototype artists are working on their kits, many times now that's when the pre-order goes up. So I wish the sculptor, when they get the kit that they approve, would then take the time to photograph. Let me go over here to Lulu because she's a blank kit here that's not attached to a body. Take a photo of the face, the side of the head, the back of the head, this side of the head, the top of the head. You can do the arms together, but do the back and the front. Same with the legs, sides, everything. Feet. I would also love measurements. We get the head circumference and we get the length. I would love the length of the feet. I don't know why, but I don't know. Sometimes you get kits and they've got these little dinky feet. It's hard to tell from a photo without those things. But the most important for me would be the photos of, as I showed you, the head, all the different directions, the limbs, etc., etc. So that we would have time to look at those while the prototypes are being made, and then the prototype photos go up, and I would love those to be left there because there are times I go back for reference to look at. Thank goodness they don't take them down in terms of stats and, you know, sizes for eyes and stuff like that, because that doesn't come on the COA many times. A couple artists have done it where they put the eye size and stuff on there, but many don't. And so I like having that reference. But I just wish that were something that the dealers required in order to sell your kits. You need to provide us images of the blank kit. There is a kit I have on pre-order right now that I happened to be looking at sneak peeks on a site and saw 2 photos of this kit up in its raw form. One, the kit was, you know, unpainted but dressed, fully dressed, and I think the other one was the head. And that's what we get many times. Many times we get a photo of the raw kit, like the clay head or the head. And that's what we're ordering from. And so I have passed on kits, or I have decided to take the risk. And there have been several kits throughout my years where it's arrived, I've opened it, and I have sold it. Because it doesn't, there are things that are deal breakers for me. Not that there's anything wrong with the kit, it's just things I choose not to paint. And so it's just really disconcerting that, you know, these kits are not cheap. Lulu, for example, was $119. And, you know, there, again, like I said, there was a lot of excitement about her. And she was, to the best of my remembrance, was being a limited edition kit, and her pre-order was for 3 days. Now, what I did not know about that, for those of you who are either have ever done this before or not, there are several ways that an edition is set. One is the artist chooses, it's a limited edition of, say, 500. Or I'm going to run the pre-order for 3 days, 5 days, and however many are ordered, that sets the edition. So she was running for 3 days, but there have been some that run their pre-order for a few days, but they've set the edition. But we don't know that edition number. And those kits have sold out in minutes. Excuse me. So you're like sitting at your computer, and sometimes you miss because the site might crash, they run out, whatever. So she was listed as a 3-day pre-order. I ordered her the first day because I wasn't sure. And then I find out now her pre-order is running for a week. We're so happy to announce we're running it for a week. And I'm like, And several distributors then went on to, I believe they came in emails to me, that they ordered extra kits of her. Her edition is 2100. I, in all my years, have never seen a reborn kit edition set at 2100. I do not know if there was a limit to how many extras the distributors were allowed to buy. I would hope that there would be a limit. You know what? If you took pre-orders for 400, you can order, 10 extra for your store or something like that. Honestly, I don't know how many were ordered by distributors, but her edition is very, very high. And there are other things that I ponder. As I've talked about in the past, I've done several other topic videos when it comes to the artistry. I've talked about, what is the definition of a limited edition? Because what I thought it was, clearly it is not, because people duplicate limbs, and how is that a new edition if they're the same limbs? I've talked about duplicate limbs. But this is another thing that I wish were part of our industry, is seeing the blank kit. So that, and visually, and again, some do it. Some post the blank kit in different varieties of positions, and it's fabulous. Then I can make my decision. I have missed out on kits. I have had to buy kits on the secondary market because when I see kit reviews on people's channels, or people start getting their kits and posting photos of the blank kit where I can now see the whole blank kit, I'm like, oh, I should have got that kit. And sometimes I'm able to, and sometimes I'm not. And so if that would just become part of the norm, I don't know how to make that happen. I did message the distributor where I got my Lulu from to ask about the 3/4 limbs and the finger, and I said, I'm not sure if anybody else has messaged you about this, but I feel she's falsely advertised as a full limbed kit when her legs are 3/4, and basically I was told nobody else had contacted them about it. So I don't know how to make those changes. I'm a very small channel. I'm not widely known in this industry like some of the huge people are. But it's something I would like to see discussed and possibly some changes made. And I personally would be willing to, like on my website, do it. However, by the time I get a kit, the pre-orders, of course, are done and they're shipped out, and there may or may not be more for people to order. If it's a kit that the edition sold out, well, then what's the point of me posting blank photos if there's none left for people to buy? You see what I'm saying? It needs to happen at the level of the sculptor when they get their original kit, so that we can see what we're buying. I mean, it's not a hard ask, I don't think. I just want to see what I'm buying before I buy it fully. I want to fully see. And like if she were laid out like this in a photo, I could visually see, you know what? Pretty much on a human, from your ankle to your knee and from your knee to your thigh is the same size. And you can clearly see that is not. Visually, I can see it from this. You see what I'm saying? And so, anyway, I don't want to come across as complaining. I'm not complaining. I just would like standards in this industry for stuff like this. And I don't know how to make that happen. I don't know how to create that change. But it would really be nice if every, because there are some who do it, artist would provide raw blank photos of their kits for dealers to post before the pre-order. I think that's the correct way I want to verbalize all that. And I don't really think it's a lot to ask. So, I mean, even some manufacturers of clothing and stuff show you front and back of clothes, give you the inseam and the measurements, and they give you all the details. So I'm not asking for anything outside of other industries. So yeah, that is something that I have been pondering. And when Lulu came, because it's something I have felt for a long time is missing. And I guess she was one kit. She's like the kit that was the catalyst for me to talk about it, because you know, I can keep hoping all I want. I can keep hoping it'll happen. But if I don't talk about it and bring it to the attention of hopefully somebody out there who can be like, wow, what a great idea. Yes, we can do that. We can do that in our company. You know, keeping it to myself is not helping anything. Or just in, you know, talking with other artists and we talk about it. But the only way to create change is to talk about it. And so... you know, and that's why I love, like, going when I go to doll shows, going, you know, having kit vendors there where I can, like, look visually at the entire kit. It's just fabulous. But, you know, we can't do that shopping on the computer, on the internet. So we need the dealers to provide that for us, to provide as much information as possible about the kit. And so, I mean, look at that face. Isn't she stunning? She is stunningly beautiful. But as I said, if she were listed as a 3/4 leg, I would not have bought her. That is one of my deal breakers. And so I'm torn because I really want to paint that face. And yes, you can say, oh, you can switch out the limbs, but that just would make her even more expensive because I charge 3 times my supplies for a baby. And if I'm investing now either in a whole nother kit to get different legs, there are some artists who sell limbs separately, but you have to make sure they are proportionate to what you're painting. And I haven't even looked. I don't even know if there's limbs that would be proportionate to her, like legs. But it's something I can look into. But oh, that belly plate is stunning, isn't it? I love the rib cage. So she's a beautiful kit, stunningly beautiful. But I just was disappointed. I'll be honest. I was disappointed with the legs, that they are missing the upper thigh. So that is that. Now, as for here, what's been going on, my mom is here. She came home with us, which I did mention, I believe, in Zara's box packing. She came home with us after Christmas, and we've been having a really lovely visit. Unfortunately, she did get sick a couple days after she got here. She had like a bad cold. I don't think it was the flu. She didn't, you know, she wasn't having fevers, and she was really tired, though. So she was taking naps and such, which was wonderful for her. And then I got to root sweet Adelya. So yeah, so she's feeling better. So actually, we were going to be going to a, what's it called? An antique show. That's what it was. It was a show. It was an antique show that happened last Saturday. So a week ago tomorrow. And we were going to be going to that, but she was not feeling up to it. And I started to get the cold, but I started chugging my elderberry syrup that I make, as well as using my essential oils, and I warded it off. Thank goodness. But anyway, I now don't think, oh, that's so rude. Why didn't she give her mom elderberry syrup? I offered it. She did not want it. So I did offer. So anyway, so yesterday we decided to go about a half an hour from here to a different town nearby, and they had a few antique malls. Well, I thought it was 2. I had seen 2 online that I had never been to. So we went there, and actually there ended up being a 3rd one. Right down the street from the 2nd one, we found a 3rd one. So we went, and I bought 2 treasures. Only one of them is in here. I was able to get the Johnson's baby powder tin. The other one, it's actually a glass even flow bottle that I need to wash. So it's out in my workspace. I need to wash it. I did pick that one up a while back. This is a brand I've never heard of. I didn't grow up with Merck, M-E-R-C-K baby powder. It's medicated. It's a really cute tin though. But I really wanted a tin for my little display here. And when I saw this yesterday, I got really, really excited. It's near mint condition. Well, that's the same as the front. There's a little bit of, you know, kind of missing there, but all the wording is on it. And look at this, ladies. 65 cents originally, with the powder, of course. It was marked $18, but there was a 30% off sign on the shelf next to it, so I didn't know, because it was an antique mall, so I didn't know if the shelves belonged to the same vendor or not, so I asked, and she said, actually, it's the shelf that's on sale for 30% off, not anything on the shelf. So I'm like, oh, darn. Anyway, so she said, well, that vendor actually gives me some wiggle room, so I'll take 15 for it. And when I go shopping in places like antique malls, when I see something, before I look at the tag, I create a mental price I'm willing to pay. And it was a little more than my mental price to pay 15. But I have looked at them on eBay, and they've been rusty and not as good condition. And when you factor in shipping and, you know, with the postal system, things can get damaged or lost. I thought, you know what? My mental price was 10. So I thought, well, I can pay $5 for it being in such beautiful condition, or $5 additional for the beautiful condition, and it's here. I don't have to wait for shipping, etc., etc. So I found that, and then the little bottle. And my mom found a couple treasures. She is a doll collector. She only has the one reborn, the one I created for her, which is a portrait baby of myself as a baby, so she has a baby Kymberlee, but she collects other dolls, and so she picked up a cute little, it's actually, I didn't realize till she was showing it to me this morning, it's an Ann Timmerman. It's a little porcelain little girl. She's really cute, and she got a couple other things as well. So we had a really lovely day out and about yesterday. We've gone out running errands and stuff, which we're going to do again today. We both have some errands that we need to do, so we're going to head out in a little bit. I told her I'd like to leave around noon, and I'm guessing right now it's probably about 11:30ish, so we are going to head out. We both have some stuff we need to do in town, and yeah, and then we're actually expecting about 2 inches of snow over the next couple days, which isn't bad. We haven't really had snow. We had that one big snow in November, the beginning, kind of like, oh my word, what's our winter going to be? But I really can't complain. We've had a couple dustings since then. Yesterday it was actually 52 degrees out there. Don't know what that is in Celsius, but I was not complaining. It was quite balmy. And so yes, I'm thankful for the mild winter we're having thus far. It was reported we were going to have above average snowfall, so of course I ordered many bags of salt, but I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So, but they're at the ready if needed. So yeah, so that's what's going on here. Been really thinking about and praying for all the people in Australia. It's so devastating, all the fires and the loss of life and wildlife and all the tree. Oh, just heartbreaking. So, oh, just heartbreaking. So praying for everybody there to be safe, and oh, so many people, so much going on in the world, ladies. And as I said, I've been praying for 2020 to be much better for all of us than 2019 was. I know so many people had a rough year last year. So anyway, everybody, thank you for stopping by and listening to my chat. I hope I hit on all the topics. I need to do a little bit of rearranging in here. I need, of course, Pip needs to be changed out of her Santa ensemble, as does Calcadon. She's still in her Christmas outfit. And all the other babies were pretty much just the ones I put Santa hats on. Malachi really wants to go back in his colorful outfit. Don't you, little man? I want him in it. So hopefully I can do some changing videos soon. For sure I want to do one with Yona, though, so people can see how she moves and what she looks like. I'll do an independent video of her sometime next week. So yeah, that's what's going on here at Kymberlee's Cocoon. And so I have one baby finished so far. Oh, that's wonderful, right? I'm only like 2 weeks into the new year. But she was actually completed. Her painting was finished in 2019, and I rooted her in 2020. So she's kind of born over the course of a decade change. And how exciting, this year is a leap year. That's very exciting. Oh, I should like try to time it so I have a baby born on a leap year day. Oh, I just thought of that. Oh, I must get busy. Anyway, my mom's going to be here for a few more weeks, though. She does need to be home by early February. She has an appointment. We don't have a scheduled date where she's going home yet, but she'll be here for at least a few more weeks, which is wonderful. We're really enjoying our time together. And yeah, so that's what's going on here. I hope I hit on everything that I said I would at the beginning. Mental notes sometimes just kind of get lost in the back of the brain. Anyway, everybody, remember each and every day to find at least one thing to be joyful for. Always choose joy. All right, everybody, have a very, very blessed weekend. Again, happy Friday, happy 2020, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.